Hi everyone, welcome to the UX Exchange Forum. We're going to continue with our third video on Figma. This time we're going to talk about colors. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on anything. Let's get started. We're back into Figma and we're looking at our frame, which is the iPhone frame, which is typically what we use. So as I've told you before, we're going to start today with colors. To do colors, first we're going to select a basic shape. So I'm going to select a shape from here. Let's go with the rectangle. All right, as you can see, by default, every color in an object is this gray color, which you can see on the right hand side. All right, so the way to go about changing this is if you click right there, and if you know the code, the hex code, you can input it there. If you don't know it, you merely click on this, and right here they have this whole panel. You can drag and you can see how the color changes. You can pick whatever it is you would like. Okay. The other thing to note is right up on top, you can either choose to have a solid color. If you click it down, you can have linear, radial, angular, diamond, image. Okay, let's go with linear first. As you can tell, it's very simple, very intuitive. You're actually able to click into the box right here and pick a different color that you want. So the tone changes from this reddish hue down to the grayish hue in a linear fashion. And of course, if you want, you're able to move this in any other direction that you like. So the linear pattern can change according to the direction that you choose. Another cool thing that you can do is if you actually click right there, and again, if you drag, you're able to change what the intensity of those colors is going to be, even in that linear fashion. See how that's changed right here? So that's one way to do linear. Let's create another object to show you some other color functions. So we go back into our color, and instead of solid or linear, let's try radial. Again, it's very intuitive. Drag. The other thing which is really cool is if you move this, it shows you how much of an intensity of red you want it to be before it starts fading out into that background gray color. Okay, so you can pick it like that. Of course, as I said before, you can even move this around. So you want the whole circular thing to be, but you want it to show only from a certain part of the ellipse. So you can click and drag and it moves around. All right. The other thing to do is if you want it in not in a radial fashion really, because right now it's in a radial fashion. That means it has a fixed radius. You can move this around and again it'll change the length, kind of like a hyperbola. Okay. Let's do another one. So this is if you just want, you know, it to look like it's still moving. It's not complete yet. You can do it in this fashion. You can move it around. Okay, let's say I want to go into these tones. Then I drag this, and as you can note, what's happening is the gradient of the color changes from green to gray, but only in an angular fashion. I can even change this. So let's say I wanted to move from that tone to a really darkish hue. But notice this is only a half box, which means it's going to fade into this. So let's say if I decide that I want it to look a little different, I'm going to click here, and in this, I'm going to make it go dark. So then what happens is I can show it going from black hues of green down to a light gray. And of course, I can extend that, reduce that, and just move it around to give it any sort of, you know, thing that I want. All right, another important thing that I want to point out here is the color picker tool. This is a color picker tool. So let's say I have a particular shade here that I want. I use the color picker tool and I merely drag it here. And let's say I want and as you can see, the hex codes are changing in that circle up above right here. You see how the colors are going to change? So it gets very specific with every pixel that I move to. So I can really be very nitpicky about the exact hue, the exact shade, the exact saturation I want. And then I can click. And then see, it has already applied to whatever was selected. You can see something is selected because it has a blue outline around it. Let's say I want to change this. This has a blue outline around it. And if I use my color picker tool and I go here, it's now picked that to this highlighted blue tool. Okay. All right. Now, another one which I actually like using a lot is, oh, well, we haven't done diamond yet, so might as well show you that. By now you would have understood. It is so simple to use and so intuitive. And you can even drag if you want the length of the diamond to be a little different than the actual rectangle that it's in. All right. So moving on though, the one that I really find very interesting to use is using the image tool. With this, you can actually click on this, choose image, and it's going to open up something right here, you know. So let's say I want to use this. Okay. I'm going to put this in here. Okay. And what I can also choose to do is I can have the whole thing fill this box, or I can make it fit inside the box so that things aren't cut off on the end. I can crop it. So I have the option here. I can, you know, take it down, move it up, I can do whatever I want. I also have an option here to tile it. So you can't really tell because it's kind of reduced, but basically what it's doing is it's going to tile the image within this. So you'll see various different options of how to use this image tool. Okay. So tile it at 50%, or I can say tile it at 100%, and then it increases that much by size. So coming back to this, however, there we have it. And just to let you guys know, we actually have an event coming up on March 5th, 2021, which is this coming Friday, where we're going to have a job search strategy for designers. Okay, you need to go onto the UX Exchange Forum's website, which is listed right here, and register. And we're going to have another event in April, which is mentoring with UX designers. I highly encourage that you go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and also go to my website and register for these upcoming events. They're really helpful for designers. All right, I hope to see you next week in another fresh new episode. Subscribe, like the video, and see you next time.